Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am Rochelle Butler of the San Joaquin Valley Clean Energy Organization. On behalf of the Fund It Fast Chats team, I would like to wish everyone a very happy spring. We appreciate you joining us again for the Fund It Fast Chats, where we take complex funding and financing concepts and distill them down into bite-sized and actionable bits to help you get your energy efficiency projects done. We are continuing to push forward through 2024 with our overarching theme of IDSM. This month, we take a moment to focus on demand response. You may be asking yourself, what the heck does demand response have to do with IDSM? Well, thinking back for a quick moment to IDSM, which stands for Integrated Demand Side Management, and what that means, IDSM is the comprehensive portfolio of programs utilities use to manage our grid resources. Demand response programs are an integral part of managing grid resources. Now, you may be asking yourself why we need to manage grid resources. There's way more than enough energy to go around. In California, where we produce more solar energy than any other state in the US, surely we can produce enough electricity to power whatever we need. Well, that's only partially true. And the reason I say it's partially true because in California, we have a phenomenon called the duck curve. So I have a quick graphic here for you. All right, here's that graphic for you. Ducks are super cute, so this can't be a bad thing, right? Unfortunately, these aren't the ducks we're talking about right now. This is the duck we're talking about. So this chart has been around for quite some time. It is illustrating our energy demand. And that huge uptick in energy demand is actually occurring during the late afternoon and early evening hours when solar production begins to decrease and eventually it stops because, well, the sun sets. During these same hours, people begin getting off work, children begin coming home from school, which causes an increase in the amount of energy used across the entire grid. So think of this kind of like 5 o'clock traffic. People returning home, turning on lights, starting laundry, cooking, turning on televisions, etc. This is the period of the day when most energy is being demanded of the grid. The problem is actually compounded during the months of May through October because this is the time of year people most commonly use their air conditioning in our region. Air conditioning on average represents roughly 30% of a normal household's energy consumption during those months. Stick a pin in that fact because we're going to touch back on that later when we get into our discussion of the programs. So during this time, utilities are faced with having to provide resources to meet that demand, but having to do so with less solar production available. This often results in the need to procure energy from other less environmentally friendly resources. And with that comes a whole host of other issues. So I'm just going to check the temperature here. Can you actually see the duck? Maybe if I do this, you can see the duck a little bit better. I've actually heard some folks tell me they can't actually see the duck, so I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. So how do we fix this? How do we get rid of that duck? There are a lot of remedies to this issue. Some of those remedies are technologies that unfortunately are still developing. Battery storage is a really great example of that. While battery storage has come quite a long way very quickly in recent years, it's not quite advanced enough to store enough power. And attempting to do so at this point would be cripplingly expensive for all parties involved. And we don't want that. So utilities have come up with some ways to encourage people to reduce their energy usage during those critical times, and that is where demand response programs come into the picture. So I'm going to talk about a few of those programs. I will also provide you with some resources so that you can learn more about how to access those programs. You can start saving money and help reduce the amount of non-renewable energy being used on the grid. I'm going to preface this by saying I am going to focus on PG&E programs. However, most utilities in California offer very similar programs. So I'll make sure you have the resources you need to learn about how to sign up for these programs, no matter who your utility provider is. So first off, I'd like to kind of set the stage by talking about peak day pricing. If you are on a commercial rate, you can sign up for peak day pricing. A similar option is also available if you are on a residential rate, if you're a residential customer. Signing up is completely free, and don't worry, it is optional. However, it is not available to customers that are enrolled in a community choice aggregation. You may know those as CCAs, or if you're actually enrolled in another program, such as an energy incentive, energy reduction, peak hour, or direct bidding program. So basically, they don't want you double dipping on the incentives. So how does the peak day pricing program work? Remember, PG&E wants you to reduce your energy consumption during those 5 o'clock traffic hours I mentioned a moment ago. So the program gives you a financial incentive to do so, and they do this by adjusting your rates. During the summer months between June 1st and September 30th, PG&E will actually lower your regular rate. However, the trade-off is that they will add a surcharge during the hours of 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. for 15 days. They choose the 15 days, but they will tell you in advance when they will occur. In my personal experience, I'm enrolled in this program. You can just about predict when they will occur based on the temperatures on any given day. If you can manage to reduce your consumption during those times on those selected days, you will notice a difference in your overall energy cost. There is no risk to find out if this program works for you. When you sign up, you will receive what's called bill protection for the first 12 months. And what that means is if after the first 12 months of being enrolled in the program, if you don't experience a reduction in your overall energy cost, PG&E will credit your bill back for the difference. You may also choose to opt out at any time. It's completely risk-free. The second demand response program I'd like to highlight is the Baseline Interruptible Program, or BIP, BIP. What is BIP and how is it different from peak day pricing? It actually follows many of the same principles, but it's structured just a little bit differently. So if you are a higher usage customer, this structure may work better for you. BIP is designed for customers with at least 100 kW maximum demand during the summer on peak and the winter on peak for at least 1 month over the previous 12 months. Eligible customers include bundled customers, direct access customers, and community choice aggregation customers, or CCA customers. However, you are ineligible if you are on rate schedules AG-R and AG-V. So you can check your bill to see if you're on either of those rates. So how does the program work? When you sign up for the program, you will select what is called your firm service level, or FSL for short. We love our acronyms. This is the level to which you choose to reduce your electrical load, and this amount can be adjusted one time during the year, or you can discontinue participation, but it must be done in November. So very specific. Your FSL must be no more than 85% of your highest monthly maximum demand during the summer on peak and winter partial peak periods over the past 12 months. There are times during the year when the utility provider receives notice from the California Independent System Operator, or CAISO, to reduce electrical load for emergency purposes. The utility may also need to initiate an event for local system emergencies or for program evaluation. When these events occur, you will be notified at least 30 minutes in advance of the event. An event will not occur more than once in a day and never for more than 6 hours for any one event. The program will not exceed 10 events in any month or more than a total of 180 hours within 1 year. This sounds like a lot to remember. However, there are incentives that are available for participating. If you can save by participating, you can save up to $10.50 per kW during the months of November through April, or $13.50 per kW during the months of May through October. There are links attached to this recording that'll give you the exact amount of incentive in each bracket of load reduction that's offered through the program. Now, the next program I'd like to highlight overlaps with the BIP program in a few different aspects. It is called the Energy Load Reduction Program, or ELRP. This program is a bit more widely available than the BIP program. This program, similar to BIP, is structured around CAISO emergency events. So these events can be called one day in advance, generally before 5 p.m. on the day prior, you'll be notified, or they can be a day of event for which you, the participant, will be notified at least 30 minutes prior. Between the months of May and October, participants will be called upon any day of the week to reduce their load in the event of a CAISO emergency between the hours of 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. Any event can last between 1 and 5 hours and may be called on consecutive days. Participants will not be asked for more than 60 hours of participation in any 1 year. You can save $2 per kWh for load reduction during an event. For customers enrolled in BIP, you will receive incentives for events that overlap a BIP event period. Participants will receive payment in the form of a check for their incentives. There's no penalty if you are unable to shed the minimum amount of load during an event. You won't be penalized for that, and you won't be penalized for opting out early. So this is completely optional for you, the customer. All non-residential customers, including commercial, industrial, agricultural, and small and medium businesses, are eligible to enroll. Customers who are individual bundled service customers enrolled in a community choice aggregation service, as well as direct access customers, are also eligible to enroll. Like the other programs, participation is optional and absolutely free, as I said before. To be eligible, all customers must be able to reduce their load by at least 1 kW during an event. They must not be enrolled in any other demand response program, with the exception of BIP, and customers may also be enrolled in peak day pricing rate plan. Additionally, if you are enrolled in an aggregator or a third-party demand response provider, you may contact your provider directly to enroll, or you can reach out to your utility by contacting them directly. So there's a couple of different ways you can get signed up. This is not by any means an exhaustive list of programs that are available out there to help you manage your peak time load. There are quite a number of others. However, it is very apparent by their rate structures what the goal is. Shedding load between the hours of 4 p.m. and 9 p.m., especially during those summer months when we're using our air conditioning. There's opportunity to reduce usage and still remain operable. One thing to remember is all of these programs are optional, and there's no penalty to try them out and see what your potential energy savings is. Next time you see a duck, maybe you will think not only of their cuteness, but also of shedding electrical load. Please check out some of the resources we have provided with the recording link for this video. There are a ton of great resources out there. If you have additional questions about any of these programs, don't hesitate to reach out. Remember, you can reach out any one of a number of different ways. You can connect with us on just about any platform. You can find us on Instagram, on LinkedIn. You can find us wherever you listen to your music, or you can reach out directly by visiting sjvceo.com. Thank you so much again for joining us. We wish you a very happy spring, and we'll see you back next month on the Fund It Fast Chats.